Welcome to the series where we play through every Harry Potter game chapter by chapter. In this penultimate chapter, before the climax, Harry still has things to do in the 2003 game. Harry needs to go to potions class, but his friends won't let him enter the classroom again without the ingredients, so it's back to Hagrid's garden to collect the Flobberworm mucus and Puffapod spores. His methods are surprisingly brutal. Harry brings the ingredients for the antidote to common poisons to class, and after that needs to play the Quidditch match against Slytherin. Harry has to fly after the golden snitch on his jinxed broom, and stay in the game until Hermione eventually sets Snape on fire.
Ow!
Even after the jinx is broken, Harry's broom will still knock him off if he falls too far behind the snitch, and require a do-over on flying through that series of magic snitch trail rings. This Quidditch match is the straw that breaks the camel's back in the 2003 Warthog version. The trio go to the staff room to find Dumbledore, but Snape exits and tells them where the bearded headmaster is.
We want to see Professor Dumbledore.
See Professor Dumbledore? Why?
It's sort of secret.
Professor Dumbledore left 10 minutes ago. He received an urgent owl from the Ministry of Magic and flew off for London at once.
He's gone?
Yes, Mr. Potter. Gone. And so should you be. Goodbye.
On Game Boy Color, Harry christens Hagrid, who reveals that playing fluffy music puts him to sleep, like he told the man who he won Norbert's egg from when he asked. This prompts the search for Professor Dumbledore. Harry tells Professor McGonagall that someone is trying to steal the Philosopher's Stone. McGonagall tells Harry that Dumbledore is gone, but reassures Harry that the stone is impossible to steal. In the PC version, Hermione claims that
Snape's been acting very suspicious lately.
Ron deduces that Dumbledore's absence has created a perfect opportunity for Snape to steal the stone. The remaining games don't give compelling reasons for why tonight's the night, though, not mentioning Dumbledore's absence. Game Boy Advance and mobile Lego Harry Potter theorize that Snape wants to steal the stone for Lord Voldemort or the infamous wizard lies low in the forest. On PS1, Hermione seems to unilaterally decide that they need to steal the stone before Snape can. Ron seems skeptical about this preemptive heist.
I suppose.
The main version of Lego Harry Potter simply has them passing by the third floor when they see someone entering Fluffy's room. These are the reasons why Harry, Ron, and Hermione go to the Forbidden Corridor that night. In Game Boy Color and mobile Lego Years 1 through 4, Neville Longbottom tries to stop them from leaving the Gryffindor common room, but is petrified by Hermione. There are some minor obstacles to begin with on the GBA. Some spikes, blue gnomes which take 2 flipendo hits rather than 1, and platforms over bottomless pits. Usual level design for this version. Of course, they must get past Fluffy the giant dog. In most versions, Harry plays the flute from Hagrid to put Fluffy to sleep. Game Boy Color Fluffy immediately collapses in a cutscene, while in other older games Harry must play close to Fluffy but retreat before being bitten. Game Boy Advance Fluffy walks back and forth and has a single stamina bar to deplete, while PS1 and PC Fluffy have 3 for the dog's 3 angry heads. You must press a simple repeating button pattern in PS1, versus only quick in the PC version, but the PC version uniquely allows heads to wake back up and is thus the hardest. The other versions take inspiration from the film. having a magically playing harp left behind and Fluffy already asleep. Of course it has to stop playing. The main version of Lego Harry Potter has the wizard pupil and his best friend steal a rubber duck from a bathing portrait and distract Fluffy with it before re-enchanting the harp to put Fluffy to sleep. The mobile version has Fluffy chase Harry towards the camera just like the Pro and the PS1 and PC game. The 2003 version has a cutscene similar to the movie, where the three make it down the trapdoor Fluffy was guarding just in time after the dog wakes up. In our versions but the mobile Lego one, the three students fall down into some devil's snare pranks. Hermione and Ron are caught in some of these games, and Hermione tells Harry that the vines are weak to light or fire. PC Harry casts Incendio to defend himself while freeing his friends. The PS1 version has his friends trapped behind a wall, and Harry needs to first Flipendo vines in the right order, and then fight the central vine as a boss. Luckily, Incendio is only required for the final blow. The snare is also a boss fight in the Warthog version, which is similar to the full-grown venomous Tentacula, except larger and more aggressive in attack patterns. It also poisons Harry. The first time Harry can use his antidote to common poisons, but subsequently when out of the potion, the poison will cause temporary blurred vision. Only Ron is trapped in this version. Hermione takes care of the devil's snare in the other half of the room so Harry doesn't completely steal her job. And of course the Game Boy Color's devil's snare is a boss fight. Only Incendio is useful against it. There's also an herbicide potion that Harry used, but this game still has creative ways to mess with the player. Harry drinks the herbicide and damages himself instead. I've got to admit that's genius. Every other potion Harry drinks himself. Why wouldn't he drink the herbicide potion as well? In the Lego game, the spell Lumus Solem is used to defeat the snare. Game Boy Advance Harry doesn't know Incendio nor Lumus Solem, so goes around knocking over conveniently placed braziers onto the plants, and makes it to Ron and Hermione's room. I'm glad none of the games kept that stupid scenes in the movie where the plant lets them go if they relax. In the book it does fight back if struggled against, but definitely won't completely let go. It feels like some kind of half-baked stress management moral that a cartoon would give for kids, trying to equate the life and death circumstances that the heroes overcome with the impressionable young audience's everyday life. Generally, you should not try to relax if in mortal peril. The next room is full of flying keys and a broomstick. Harry must catch the right key, which is thankfully easily identifiable, to open the locked door. Most games reuse the Quidditch gameplay here, with Harry flying through magic hoops behind the key until he catches it. Though the 2003 version ends the chase no matter what after a surprisingly short window of time compared to chasing Malfoy several times around the castle in a vain attempt to recover the Remembrow. The main version of Lego Harry Potter requires flying around and casting spells at the obvious giant key until its wings fell off, while the mobile version requires some platforming to release the correct key in the first place, before flying along the ground to manage the speed to catch it. The winged keys have a unique interpretation here, with the set of wings carrying the key like a novelty keychain. And they look more Lego than the ones in the other version, which are just the key piece with drawn on wings. At least the games are honest about what's physically achievable with modern pieces. The original Lego Chamber of the Winged Keys had the perfect feather piece, even though it was originally made for the Western scene, which should really be brought back. Even outside of Harry Potter, it would be great leaves or petals for the botanical sets. Game Boy Color didn't have Quidditch, but it doesn't reuse the horizontal Malfoy / Norbert chase either, with instead a unique untimed descent to collect the key at the top of the room, while avoiding the other keys. The next challenge is no less strange. Behind the locked door is a giant chessboard, which normally Harry and friends would substitute for pieces and play alongside statues to win the game. Unfortunately, none of these games respect the player's intelligence enough to play real chess. The PS1, PC, and 2003 versions all have Harry meet an injured Ron and step in to finish whatever bizarro chess variant he was playing. All pieces have the movement of a king, and all get to move each turn. In the older two games, regardless of color, the pieces try to take Harry, and Harry cannot take them, but must trick them into maneuvering into each other, causing both to foul back. PC has just the one board, but PlayStation has 3 levels of increasing difficulty. The 2003 version has Harry play on the outnumbered black side, and can move each of the pieces on his turn, with unique voice lines for each space.
King 2, B4. Pawn 2, F4.
This is the closest to real chess any of the games are. Game Boy Advance Harry has to flipendo the pieces to activate pressure plates to open the door. Game Boy Color Harry, of course, has to fight the pieces one-on-one. And Mobile Lego Harry has to answer
5 questions. 3 questions. Just answer the 5 questions.
3 questions.
3 questions as best you can. And we shall watch and pray.
That's easy!
In the main version of Lego Harry Potter, there is no way to lose. In a traditional TT Lego game, you shoot spells at pieces, destroy and build, and watch stuff happen until you cheat your way to victory. Harry and Hermione need to progress without Ron, so in these versions, rather than him being injured beforehand, he either trips and fouls, stands on the final button to open the door, jumps in to save Harry from the Queen, or collapses off-screen for no reason while answering the questions. In the 2003 version, Harry tells Hermione to bring Ron to the hospital wing and continues alone. The next challenge in the book is a troll, which had already been knocked out by He Who Came Before, and Harry and Hermione just walked past it. So it's understandable that the troll was cut from almost all the games. Game Boy Color retains this as a room to walk through, but the PS1 version has the troll start to awaken, and Harry must win Guardian Leviosa obstacles out of its path, at the end of which it falls into a pit. The next room has magical fire COD exits, and in the book, Harry and Hermione use a series of written hints to find the correct potion to drink to allow safe passage through the fire. The written clues aren't in any of the games. In the PC version, Harry must watch the correct potion carefully and cast Flipendo on it after they suffer a lag, with increasing speed each time. The PS1 starts in a similar way, with 3 giant cups, but then a knight is revealed, which when defeated drops the potion. The Game Boy games have Harry and Hermione brew the potion themselves. In Game Boy Color, you guess the count and series of ingredients, getting a score each time on how many items were correct, until the solution is narrowed down. In Game Boy Advance, the ingredients are all identical blue bottles that Harry must find in 4 rooms filled with this game's signature obstacles. But there is a kind of puzzle in the last one where Harry needs to find a way to activate many pressure plates. In the book and PC version, Hermione takes a separate potion from Harry to pass back through the purple flames, while Harry takes the potion to progress forward through the black fire. In Game Boy Color, there is only enough of the potion for Harry, and no other potion in the room. But Hermione for some reason goes backwards through another black fire. Game Boy Advance has Hermione stand on a pressure plate, like Ron did on the chessboard, to open the door blocked by fire. And on PlayStation, the knight only drops 1 ice potion for Harry. Thus, Harry alone, or in the Lego games, thanks to the omission of the potion challenge, Harry and Hermione together progress to the final challenge. What awaits? The next episode will reveal the mystery of the Philosopher's Stone and how these games at last end.